Hello sanibonani babukeli, sesifikile thina nentandokazi yohlelo lenu Yilungelo Lakho, it's your right. Sindethela lona la kumamba phambili SABC wadi imzansi for sure. Naku SABC Plus uyayazi lo app. Well mbukeli, as we wrap up Women's Month, mbukeli sibheke ubudlelwane phakathi kwezemali nabantu besimame. Yes, mbukeli, today we focus on that rather difficult relationship that women in general have with money. Perhaps even more difficult for some women. Gingo Alisha unhlanhla wakajali mbukeli, asingene shi endabeni yethu namhlanje.
Lakho mnganwa, awungela lakho mnganwa. Lakho mnganwa, awungela lakho mnganwa.
Mbukeli, kuningi ke esekwenziwe uhulumeni phela la eningizimu Afrika ukuletha imithetho nezinhlelo ezikhuphula futhi ziphinde zivikele amalungelo abantu besimame. Noma kusenjalo abesimame kodwa abakakutholi mbukeli ukuphathwa ngokulingana. Sesikhuluma kona kwezemiholo kanye nezemsebenzi. Ake sizwe nanku Mbeko.
Mushila nomvulambatha ngomnye wamanina angene kushishino ekuxhaphake kakhulu kulo amadoda nelulu shishino lweteksi. Uthol shishino ukhulele kulo nanjengoko uyise wayengumnini weteksi, ze emva kokusweleka kwakhe intambo zathathwa ngumama wakhe. Uthemva kokushiywa kwakhe ngunina wazibona naye enokuqweba iqhinga lokungena kolushishino ukuze akwazi ukondla usapho. Uthe yona nto yenze ukuba libe lisamile elishishini ziyalo azifumanayo ngokusebenzisa imali ngononophelo.
Ubaba moyethi imali yamateksi ayidliwa. Sasicabanga ukuthi uyayikhulumela nje. Ngempela iqiniso. Mawungena la business abantu abaningi bayitshela ukuthi hayi masemateksini usunemali. Yebo iba khona kodwa iphinde ihambe ngoba ngithi izala imali imoto kwenzakalani ufuna ukukhande. Imali yakhona ayidliwa. Kusemqoka ukuthi wazi ukuthi usebenza malini ngelanga nangeviki ukwazi ngoba ziyabhadala.
Okokonga nokuzama ukucuceza imadlana ukuba imelane nomthwalo othwelwe ngomama yimbali yamanina jikelele. Uthi nangona elinini elikwaziyo ukonga akhe akhona maginxiginxi kolishishino.
COVID-19 isiqalise phansi ngempilo yasifundisa izinto eziningi. Azange kwabalula. Imoto amabhenki ayengadlali ayithatha nami yamkhona eyathathwe yi1 kodwa ngenhlahla ngakwazi ukuyithola back.
Isimo sokufumana imivuzo ephansi kwamanina kwanokungaxhamli ngokulinganayo nabantu abangamadoda ludala olukhulu uxanduva nolinyanzelisa ukuba amanina abhinqele phezulwana kwimiba yemali nokuphathwa kwayo. Oku kungqinwa nalinenekazi usanelisiwe Makhuzeni oyi-account manager kwenye yenkampani ezinkulu. Noxa eqeshwe isigxina unyanzeleke ukuba afumane nezinye indlela zokuba akwazi ukugoduka nemali ezakumela noxanduva ajamelene nalo njengowasetyhini.
Oftentimes of family members bakhala kakhulu to the females of the family than to mhlambi otata be family, you know. So they also have these extra loads of people that they have to take care of, and you know isalary will never be able to manage all of those things. Hence it's important for abantu abangomama bakwazi ukubana babe nayo at least 2 or more ways of ungeniso lwemali.
Bangaphaya kwesithathu kwabalishumi abasetyhini abathwaxwa intswelangqesho kwaye namathuba kwezoqoqosho ebanqongophele ingakumbi phantsi kweemeko zoqoqosho olutsala nzima. Yiloo nto abasetyhini bekhuthazwa ukuba bajonge indlela zokuthi banyuse ingeniso.
It is possible kubana ukwazi ubane extra income even if uyasebenza. Yabona, for instance mna I do have my 9 to 5 and then kwi 9 to 5 nda organize ixesha bana ngiqale ngo7 nditshayise ngo3 because ndithengisa izindlu. There are a lot of things umuntu anganozenza xa ngena capital enqelela. I think oftentimes thina sifuna ukopa into eyenziwa ngomnye umuntu which might need a capital, but if you uzijonge nje even around the house izinto onozenza and offer services to abanye abantu, let's just typically take ukwenza ginger, you know, kukho imingcwabo every weekend, kukho imicimbi every weekend. That can be a service oyi-offerishayo.
Kule nyanga ebhiyozela amalungelo omama kubalulekile ukuba nenkqubo namaphulo akhuthaza nancedisa abasetyhini ngokulondolozwa kwemali ezokumisa amashishini kwaneendlela zokucwangcisa indlela abachitha ngayo imali nanjengoko ingabo kanye abathi bajamelane nosapho neemfuno zalo ngamaxesha kaxakeka.
Entweni nento oyenzayo ungapheli amandla ngoba impilo injengegraph iyakhuphuka yehle ungapheli amandla nokwazi ukuthi ufunani.
Nobathemba Uzantsi, Yilungelo Lakho.
Sibonga kakhulu ngalo mbiko mbukeli manje ke usiza ukuthi sikhulume phela kabanzi ngokuthi singaziphatha ngcono kanjani phela ezibhekene nechelede nemali singabantu besimame. Asamukele uSesikabelo Demon yamazi ke yena uvela lapha kwi-Credit On Board and futhi ukusisiza sibheke some of those money juggling tips that we can use. Stay tuned ngoba sinaye futhi uMichelle Abubakar yena ke she's a financial expert. Ladies, happy rest of Women's Month, whatever is left of it. Kabelo, we'll start with you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I always love being here, so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Michelle, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Look, Michelle, looking at the insert, obviously a lot of women are saying that they've taken a second job to try and supplement their income. But how many women, like realistically, do have that luxury of having a 9-to-5, having kids, having marriages, and then having a side job that is going to supplement that income?
Look, it is a bit of a difficult, thing to juggle, already juggling a 9-to-5, as you said, and juggling being a wife, being a mother. It does tend to get a little bit exhausting. But I think in the current state of economy that we find ourselves in, we have to try to just put in the extra of, the side hustle part, because we're barely making it. So you find that currently, especially now with COVID, a lot of women have actually, started something on the side, because COVID was kind of like a wake-up call for a lot of us. We realized that 9-to-5, yes, we're grateful, we're thankful, but what happens when it cannot sustain you to, your full capacity of what you actually need your expenses to be covered at? And yeah, I think it's a difficult thing, but it's the reality of our, it's the reality of our world. It's the reality of what we're going through. And when you engage with a lot of people that have actually started something during COVID, you find that their businesses are actually blooming currently. Their side hustles are currently blooming because they didn't have any other option. Like it was literally a do or die thing. It was a do or die thing. It's my 9-to-5 is not helping me meet my expenses. What is going to happen? And if a side hustle, and I also like to say, your side hustle shouldn't necessarily be something that you've went to school for.
Exactly.
We find that we have a lot of passion.
And also something you're talented at.
We have a lot of passion.
Can sew, all sorts of things.
Why not just, get passive income from that? Why not just venture into doing that and actually making money off of your other passions besides your 9-to-5?
Kabelo, what I find interesting is that, with all the rights that we have in South Africa that government has tried to garner support in terms of women's rights for, women are still treated unfairly in the workplace when it comes to salaries, when it comes to promotions and things. Women there are saying that they're still getting paid less. But how do we then beat this scourge, for lack of a better word, because it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon?
When I think about that, it angers me.
We're all angry. Exactly.
And I say this because as women, when we are given a task, and I remember that one of my previous bosses used to say that the reason why his company had a lot of women was because he knows that women get the job done.
Absolutely.
And I remember back that when I made the decision that I also wanted to become an independent woman, because growing up, it seemed like it was an easier option to just get a man to take care of you, and then you'll be a housewife.
But how many men are around that will just take care of you?
Not many. But the thing is also, there are some women like myself, I prefer taking care of myself financially.
Thank you.
And it's because of, as well, I don't want to feel like I'm a burden to another man. And I asked myself this question that if at all I'm saying I want to rely on a man to take care of me, who is working, who's successful, what is stopping me from getting the things that he's got? Because I have the brain, I have the skills, I can also learn to do the things that he's doing so that I can make an income for myself. So then it goes back to saying that, but if at all I'm not going to get paid the same as this man, as my...
You're basically exploiting me.
What, exactly. So what are you saying? That the fact that I'm a woman, am I weaker? Do I not have a lot of responsibilities? Because the actions are saying to us as women and make us as women feel like you are saying that we are incompetent.
Absolutely.
Yet, we are raising your families. Because trust me, having to raise a human being does not have a manual. But for me to say that I studied and I've got a qualification, there are steps, there are strategies that you have to follow, but raising a human being, there is none of that. So therefore, what is so hard for me to actually take care of an organization that if at all I can do it with a child, I can certainly do it with an organization. So it honestly angers me when as women, we are not treated as an equal to our male counterparts. How about you just look at the fact that I've got the skills to do this job? And can I really then meet your targets that you are setting? And most of the time we find that, yes, it's true, we can. So it's a matter of, honestly, the government working harder and not only on paper. Not only on paper, in action, and showing that indeed that we are giving you a chance, yes, not because you're a woman, but we can see that you can get the job done. As much as right now, yes, we are saying that we want to be treated equal because previously, we were disadvantaged. We were not even allowed in the workplace. Now we are in the workplace. You guys can see that we can do the job. So please now, can you now make things right? I mean, I think I speak for Banyana as well, sorry.
We're not going to go there today, Kabelo. Very quick one, Michelle, before we go to an ad break. I mean, I think there was this discussion where women still get paid and they might have an additional income that comes from the husband or their spouses at home. But women generally still use more of their income to sustain the household, as Kabelo was saying. But we don't get paid for that. So how do we bridge that gap of saying, I'm choosing to spend my own money because husband is going to arrive when the shops for vegetables have been closed 5 hours ago?
So, you know, I think to address that, we first of all need to actually also kind of move our minds from that mentality that, you know, my income is my income, my husband's income is my husband's income, you know, because like you're saying, we find that us as women tend to have out-of-pocket expenses that are a little bit more than our husbands would have, because I'm managing the household. I'm balancing my life at work. I'm also having to get home and there's no bread for the child to go to school tomorrow.
You need something, you need
there's just something, you get what I mean.
With.
And we actually need to put those practices in place to say we actually need to have a kind of a one-pot system and move ourselves from the mentality that a woman is the one that's supposed to be taking care of the household in terms of, you know, purchasing the things, and then you find that you're now out of budget. If you plan and budget accordingly, you find that then you know what the one-pot system is.
All right.
You can account for that.
All right. Michelle, let's leave it there for now. We're going to get into further detail. For now, though, let's quickly take an ad break. Siyabuya khona manje sikhuluma ichelete imali nabantu besimame. Do stay with us. Bogeli, welcome back. Izingcingo zethu ke sezivuliwe manje. Ungasithumela i-email ku consumer@sabc.co.za. Alternatively, usifonele la studio 011-714-0669 or 714-0670. Our WhatsApp number 0608449857. Ungasithola futhi on our social media platforms. Ngihlelelana no Michelle Abubakar, who is a financial expert, alongside Ms. Kabelo Nyamazi. She's from the Credit Ombudsman. Uzosixwayisa ngokuthi singabe simame imali kumele sigade kanjani. All right, so Michelle, going back to that one-pot system, how how do those families that have both a male and a female provider at home, how do you even bring up that topic to say, whatever you gave me as an extra income for perishables or for groceries in the house, but I need more. When I come home and there's no electricity, I need to buy takeout. I mean, this is the new reality that we're living with in South Africa. How do we even introduce that topic to men without sounding like sesifuna more? Because they'll always be complaining with sesifuna more.
Look, money is always a sensitive topic.
Absolutely, yeah.
In every relationship, like, money is a sensitive topic. It's not even just with husband and wife. You know, money is also always involved with family members and all of that.
True.
But I think you just need to be transparent. You get what I mean? Because if you're not transparent with regards to those little perishable goods, like you're saying, and that obviously is going to lead into you having to incur the cost out of your own expenses. However, if on a monthly basis, when your income it's a one-pot system. I know how much my husband is getting, he knows how much I'm getting, and we budget together. It's possible for you to actually include a budget of some sort to say, this is actually for the out-of-pocket expenses that we don't really account for. I can't say in a week, I know I'm going to be buying potatoes because, it's perishable goods.
Yes.
Load shedding,
and it's not part of the girlfriend allowance.
No, it's not part of it's not part of the hair, it's not part of the nails, no. It's all about budgeting for it. I think it's a sensitive topic, but it's a topic that needs to be had because you either have the topic, or then if you're not having it, that means you are fine with you bearing the costs. You need to pick a struggle.
Step up.
Pick a struggle.
But Kabelo, 38% of households, or 6 million households in South Africa, women are the primary financial providers. And most of these people did not ask to be put in that position. So now when you look at that situation, you're getting discriminated against emsebenzini, and you still come home to a spouse or an environment where you are not being assisted financially. Like, how much of a toll does it take on you as the primary financial provider?
It is a lot. It can lead to depression.
I'm sure.
And a lot of times as women, we are told, "Isinakekele, man, girl, ugeze, ube nice." But then sometimes you're like, I don't even have the time and then put makeup on, massage, because that money, always thinking, as women, we are so selfless. We were created to be selfless beings, and we easily adjust to situations. So if you get home and there's a new situation that you now have to, like, okay, now I have to solve this, resolve this matter.
While we were gone.
Exactly. So now you already your mind goes to, I need to solve this problem. How do I solve this problem? And now, if at all you go to the person that is meant to be your partner, right? Partner is meant to be supportive, to say that, okay, how do we both juggle the situation? Kodwa abuke wena athi, okay ke senzani, hayibo. So honestly, as women, I think that it's hard to even say that we need to take care of ourselves and we need to do all of that, but
we're not wired that way.
We are not, honestly, and we need to find ways to get a group of other women maybe for support, because we understand our own struggles, right? If another woman comes and tells you that this is my issue, it's okay, fine, and sometimes just letting it out and venting to somebody who understands makes you feel better. So we need to find those support structures that that I can go to this person and speak to this person, and then so that I know that I'm not alone.
Look, Michelle, I mean, what do stats look like in terms of numbers of credit-impaired records pertaining to women as opposed to the male demographic in South Africa? I'm sure it's more, right?
So if I had a look yesterday, and, just off of the topic of, comparing, for example, just with regards to lending, how much women compare to men in terms of getting credit.
Credit activeness,
and yes. And you find that for women, it's not even that they're incurring secured debt. Our females are more about unsecured debt, which is your quick
mashonisa,
like your quick your personal loans, your credit cards, and we actually realize that they don't even take into consideration facts that with those with those unsecured debts, the interest rates are higher. You're actually finding yourself paying much more higher than you would, you know, if you had actually thought about it and realized that I could actually do without incurring this debt.
Yeah.
Whereas for males, we find that males are actually borrowing money to invest in assets.
True.
It's a different mindset. They're thinking totally different. It's strategical. It is, you know, I need to get the money to make the money. Whereas for us as females, if you look at the stats, we're incurring debt to sustain our lives and to sustain our families more than it is to kind of say, I'm doing this to generate income for myself.
Kabalo, maybe just coming on that as well, because also, and looking at the figures of single mothers, I mean, I know I just spoke about female-headed households, but in the event of single mothers where they're still struggling with maintenance and other costs and so forth. So, like, how do you then even try and advise a person who is, you know, the only person, the primary financial provider in this house, who's got kids, who's got literally no help on the side, and you know these people will never qualify for government bonds and so forth. So these things really just fall onto the woman. What do you advise them to do in that instance? Shouldn't they then go to Mashonisa to buy those potatoes and beans for the next day? Because uzokwenzani? We're not promoting it, but I'm saying they are not left with any option.
You know, what we sometimes do is that we see a problem and we say, because my mother went through this, I know I'm going to go through this, so I'm going to use the same method to get through it. No, you don't. There's a reason why we have financial advisors. There's a reason why we have institutions such as, like the Credit Ombud, for instance. We offer advice. We not only offer our services for free if at all you've got a credit-related matter or a credit information matter that you need to be resolved, but also if you need credit advice, because sometimes you are sitting there on your own with the little knowledge that you've got when it comes to credit. But whereas if at all you open up your mind and actually get more information and more knowledge, you'll see that, wait a minute, but there is not, I have more options available to me than just this one thing that and then 500 noma 1,000 rand until
it's called payday loans, by the way.
Yes, I'm a payday loans. Because honestly, it does affect you in the long run, whether we like it or not. As much as you're saying that at this moment, I am doing this for the people that I care about and that I love. What if these same people, your children, tomorrow want to go to college and now you can't get credit to take the child to college? That's more frustration. So do not close yourself up, but rather open yourself up and say, I am going to go and seek help. Seek help.
Misha, what kind of help would you then also advise somebody that comes to you as a financial expert? I know a lot of people, we've got New Year's resolutions every beginning of the year, and we want to budget at the end of the month, this and this and this, and then hair kicks in, nails kick in, kids, actually, before even those things that I'm mentioning as a side thing. But how do you then advise somebody to pick a certain debt over another one in terms of relevance?
So I think financial literacy is a very important thing. We need to equip ourselves with knowledge about money. We need to understand how money works before we can actually even implement any resolutions. Because if you don't understand how your money works,
you're not going to be able to use it.
You're wasting your time. So in terms of things like resolutions, as you mentioned, it's very important to seek financial advice from a professional, from someone that is actually certified to give you that advice. See it as you're sick. When you're sick, you can only self-medicate for so long. At the end of the day, you need to see the doctor. You can buy as many Panados as you want, but
it's not going to solve the situation.
At some point, you're going to have to see a doctor. And it's the same with financial planning and financial advice, you know. And people tend to have this mentality that financial advice or seeking professional financial advice is for wealthy people. And that is not the case. All classes, you know, we need financial advice. We need to seek that service from someone to actually help us with our financial plan. With the little that you have, you can literally see someone and say, look, this is what I have. This is where I'd like to be. How do we plan this? How do we plan this? What do we do to make this plan work? And just like a doctor, you do checkups. Same goes with financial advice. You have a financial planner. Your financial planner will do a review with you. Some do it every 3 months, some 6 biannually. It's always dependent, you know, depending on the situation. But I'd always say seek financial advice.
You know, Kabelo, when we talk about financial advice and budgeting, a lot of my viewers are going to phone in and say, but we don't even have that money to budget. And we always ponder over this point, Kabelo. How do you then advise anybody who doesn't even have that little bit to spare at the end of the month to see a Michelle, to phone a credit bureau and ask, Uguti, guys, what can I do? This month I only have 1,000 rand, but I've got so much debt. How do you help that individual?
You know, situations are never the same,
Yeah.
right? And if at all I'm saying that I don't have money to budget, there's money, so a budget then is required, because that little bit, you need to know that what is it that I want to do with this little bit. And also, it can also help you to actually have an overview of your own life and say, but what do I want to achieve? What do I want to get in life? And that way, you get started with the planning, because you can't just sit and think that change.
It's going to resolve itself.
When you're sitting and not doing anything, you're going to frustrate yourself, because 10 years down the line, you're going to think, oh, but I've been working for so-and-so years and I haven't achieved anything. That's because you're not planning. So planning starts with you and saying that I want to change my current situation. If I've got my 50 cents, what can I do with my 50 cents so that I can actually, and it speaks again to the point that I spoke about, that you need to open up yourself and actually get advice. Right now, we've got the Money Smart Week that is running, and it is a campaign basically for financial literacy that is it was started by the NCFAC, which is the National Consumer Financial Education Committee.
Is it targeted at women?
It is targeted to everyone, really. But I think because right now it's Women's Month, most of the activities that are going on are centered around women and empowering women.
Okay.
And it is also to say that we want to show women that there are those organizations that offer their services for free. Find out. Go on Twitter. Go on Facebook. Money Smart Week, MSWSA, and you will be able to get a hold of those organizations and what it is that they're actually offering.
Kabelo, hold that thought. I want to take another quick ad break, and then maybe you can elaborate further on this Money Smart Week. Mbukeli Izindaba zivoliwe, Facebook is open, Twitter is open. I'm back shortly after this. Window. Mbukeli, welcome back. Our lines are open, 011-714-0669 or 714-0670. consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address. We also have a WhatsApp line, 0608449857. Alternatively, email us your views on our social media platforms or usithole lapha ku Facebook. I'm sitting with two lovely ladies here, Miss Michelle Abubakar, who is a financial expert, alongside Miss Kabelo Teme, uvela lapha ya a credit ombud office. Ke sikhuluma Mbukeli ngale relationship ekuthiwa sinayo phela seyabesimami nemali. Khona bathi mebekunikeza ibudget usezofihla ngale athi wena uzobona ukuthi usebenzisa malini or usebenza kanjani ngale mali engikunikeza yona. Ngeke usaphinde wena ukwazi ukutheka ngisho isinkwa out of leyo budget. uMishali ke uthi akube ne combined pot system lapha endlini ukuthi le eyama perishables. uSiskabelo uthi kunama programs that you can actually assign or ascribe to. Sikhuluma ngayo iMoney Smart Week. Please tell us more about this Money Smart Week.
Well, as
Iphela nini Kabelo?
Iphela on the 3rd, which is on Sunday. So this
Okay.
entire week, basically, we've got different programs.
Who can come? Where?
And so to find out exactly what is going on around, because it's around the country, so we've got different financial institutions that are actually saying that we've got a consumer awareness campaign, and therefore we want to actually make consumers aware that this is what the services that we also offer. We also offer advice. So what is done is that you, under Money Smart Week, then say, as the credit ombud, this is what we are doing, and this is where we are doing it. And all of this information can be found on the social media platform Money Smart Week SA. So whether on Twitter or on Facebook, you will be able to find it, or on their website as well. So you've got then an activity list that will show you that whether you want to find posts on social media, media about advice, because that's what we are doing actually. We are offering advice even on social media. So it's not like you are limited to say, I have to go where there is a workshop that is going on, but also on social media. So do you understand that we're even saying on social media you can find financial advice. So it's not really far-fetched where we're saying that you cannot get this. We want to make it as easily accessible to everyone as we possibly can.
That's interesting. Michelle, we're talking off air here about some of the questions that come into minds when you talk to women about savings. One of them, what am I saving for? And also Kabelo came in and said, but if you don't have goals to say, I want a 4 or 5 million rand house in 20 years time or in 5 years time, what do I need to do? Maybe talk to us about that. How does one then sit themselves down and create that self-discipline and stick to that discipline that they're embarking on?
Alicia, I just want to put a disclaimer out there that everything that I say here does not constitute as advice. I don't want anybody coming at me saying, where I am employed, we do manage, a group of financial planners.
Okay.
We have a footprint across the entire South Africa at Succession Financial Planning, where we've got over 400 financial advisors where people can actually engage them and see them for free. It's not like RDR is in place yet, where we are currently paying to get the service of a financial advisor.
Okay.
It's free.
Oh, nice.
You're not paying to talk to someone about your finances. So back to your point. So in terms of saving is a very difficult topic. It's very difficult, it's very sensitive, because like I said, a lot of the times you find that people want to find out, but what am I saving for?
Yes.
Like, why must I now, in my money that I've just worked hard for, be saving? Why can't I just spend it now? Like, what am I saving for? And saving is, it requires a lot of discipline. You need to be disciplined and you need to be committed to it, because it's a recurring thing. You need, it literally you need to breathe saving if you're going to say, I'm going into saving. You need to do it on a monthly basis, and that's where the discipline comes in. And it's not something that someone can literally force on you. You need to want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I can come and try to sing you, praises of, if you save, you are basically covering yourself for emergencies, you are giving yourself flexibility, you are, if you ever decide, say you're employed down the line, you decide you actually want to stop working maybe those savings could come into play, where you can find yourself, doing something that you possibly maybe have always wanted to do. But there's a quote that I read some point at a time where they said that the bridge between your savings goal is actually, the bridge between your savings goal is your ego and your expenses.
Ooh.
Like you really need
Sounds just about right.
You need to check yourself. You need to check yourself, because a lot of the times also people will say, but I don't have money to save. But if you actually delve into saying, okay, let's do the exercise of you taking out your bank statement. Take 3 months of your previous bank statement and actually highlight all your expenses. Are these needs or are these wants?
I was about to come to that point, actually, Michelle, of necessities versus luxuries. But on that note, let's go to our lines now. We do have Asanda from East London. Asanda, thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon. Umbuzo nomumbon.
Hello.
Hi, Asanda. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
We're good, thank you. How can we help you today?
I just want to comment that women need additional jobs, so I am for the women who are getting additional jobs. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Do you have an additional job, Asanda, and how are you managing it between your 9 to 5 and then obviously your side hustle?
Yeah, I do. I after work, I get into my after 9 to 5. So that's how I'm able to manage my time, because during the day, I'm not able to do it.
Okay.
So I have to do my normal 9 to 5.
Oh, okay. And how is it fed out for you, Michelle? I mean, I'm presuming you have family as well, juggling all those things. How is it faring for you? Are you managing?
Yes, I'm managing, because I don't even have kids, so I live by myself, so that's why it's so easy. It's actually just during my free time that I did this job. So I would have been watching TV, but now I'm making money instead.
Congratulations to you, Asanda. Thank you so much. And of course, congratulations to other women that do have those side hustles. I mean, back to this topic, Kabelo, like, I mean, time management. Yes, Asanda doesn't have kids. Alicia might not have kids. Michelle might not have kids. So those people have time to then embark on an additional side hustle nyana on the side. But those people then that just cannot. How do they keep that side hustle going? Is it a point now where you have to decide, I'm hiring somebody else to look after the business where I can't be the eyes and ears all the time? Maybe I'll manage it during the weekend. Are those some of the options that we can look at?
You know, and I speak as someone who doesn't have a child, and I would not even do that. And because it started to sound like Americans, you know, I've got 2 jobs or 3 jobs. Honestly, I commend women who do that. I really do commend women who are able to say that I've got my 9 to 5, and then also I've got my side hustle. And it requires discipline, time management, because we've got 24 hours, and sometimes I feel with my 9 to 5 there aren't enough hours. It's not enough. And honestly, if at all, it's also knowing yourself. There's a lady in the insert who mentioned that even if it's a matter of saying, you know what, me and my ginger man, I make killer ginger.
Yes, because near weekend,
then I can go and actually make approach places where maybe they've got funerals or weddings and say, I offer these services. Some women, they bake. So it's something that you know that, okay, if I can time myself, I say, usually during the weekend, I see this with other women when they're doing delivery services as well. And some women say, I've got a car, right? So let me do delivery services on the weekends, and then I know that at least, especially if you don't have a child. So if you don't have children, then you've got that time to actually say, I can do delivery services, then I've got this extra income on the side as well, but it's not really taking time from my 9 to 5. Because let's not forget that even with your 9 to 5, that's really where the bread is from.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know? And you don't want to ruin that. You don't want to be exhausted when you have to actually work, because then it will affect that, and then after that, it boils to other problems that you do not want to have. So what you do is that you look at your situation and understand that what is it, if I think right now as Kabelo, if I think of a side hustle, what is it that I can do? I'm not going to copy Alicia. I'm not going to copy what Michelle is doing because it works for them. Yes. But I need to find out what are the skills that I've got. Maybe it's a hosting gig. Maybe you are skilled at actually then standing in front of people and hosting events. Then do that. What you do is that you make your posters. You make sure that you're on social media. So it's a matter of I've got data and I market myself. I market my skill and offer my skill of hosting events. So you do that. You find out what it is that you are good at, and something that will not really take much of your time and much of money when you are starting off. So look at that first. Start there first. And if at all it's something that you really need to do where you really need money, a capital to start your business, then you look at having to get good credit to finance your business.
Yes.
And you ensure that you grow that business so that eventually you can say, I can employ somebody to then take care of my business while I'm away. And eventually, hopefully, you'll be able to leave the 9 to 5 and focus on your business.
And also nowadays, Kabelo, just before we go to the ad break, I mean, since COVID, since we've incorporated this discussion from after COVID, a lot of people are working from home.
Exactly.
So it's not necessarily that you are physically at the office 9 to 5. Do something while you are working from home, while the kids are at school, or or ga-aunt uzobalanda late sebebuya sebezodla ngoba labo bazokuhlupha bazokudisturba. Mbukeli, we're coming back shortly after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Mbogeli. 011-714-0669, alternatively 714-0670. Ungasithinta on our WhatsApp line 060-844-9857. consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address. I'm with two lovely ladies, Miss Michelle Abubakar, who is a financial expert, alongside Usis Kabelo Deme. She is from the Credit Ombuds Office. Mbogeli sicebisa abo mama njengoba sizorepa up i-Women's Month ukuthi hlambe imali ningayisebenzisa kanjani. So Michelle, as somebody on a 9-to-5 ke manje with a 9-to-5 and you are financially stretched, what are some of the ideas? Say this person cannot do a side hustle per se. We heard ukuthi some ladies enter into things like stokvels and other savings methods. Iziphi ezinye izinto that they can actually do to try and acquire that extra guap?
Sure. So for myself, because I believe in side hustles, I was just telling Kabelo that, you know, during COVID, I myself started, you know, a side hustle.
Yeah.
Which doesn't take away from my 9-to-5 at all. It's literally online. I don't have to lift a finger. Well, I have to lift a finger because I'm using my phone, but I'm not out here, you know, jogging and running up and down doing something. It's literally at the tip
stock
of,
wherever, yeah.
My stock comes straight to my door. I run my Instagram company. I post on a daily basis, and, you know, I get my customers from Instagram, etc. I don't have to do anything. So in terms of things like stokvels, I've realized that there's actually stokvels that are registered as well in this day and time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's not like our back then where we used to just take the money to Kabelo at the back of, you know, wherever behind the shop, It's literally now you can literally invest in stokvels where you know, you're sure that your money is secure.
It's a formal way of investment.
Yes, it's a formal way of investment, and also, you know, with these backdoor stokvels as well, we tend to find that there's things such as, you know, the interest that you'll find that you're paying. Like you said, with the perishable goods, sometimes women find it better to just go to a mashonisa and say, you know, same goes with the stokvel, because the rates that are there, it's not like they're governed when you're going to a backroom stokvel. I can come and charge you and say, okay, from my 500 rands, I'm charging you 50%. That's the interest. And because you're in such a tight spot, you're definitely just going to take it because you need to make a plan. So in terms of having, you know, another form of income as women, saving, whether you're saving in a stokvel, I guess it's okay, but just, again, financial literacy. We need to equip ourselves with the right information. We cannot be victims of things like Ponzi schemes. We cannot be victims of those very stokvels, and then now someone has, it's December, I've been giving them my 2,000 rands every month.
5,000 rand. All right.
You get what I mean?
You know what, Michelle, let's hold that thought, because I also want to find out if there are stokvels that are designed, and also from you, Kabelo, stokvels that are designed specifically for women, looking at women's needs, and some of the stuff that we've been talking about, because I haven't heard much on that front. Let's go back to the lines. Mwabisa in Soweto, thank you so much for staying on the line. Today.
Hello, Cynthia. I would like to comment on the show. Just speaking about side hustles as women, and that we must learn how to hustle and save.
Yes.
So I'm a student. I'm studying at UNISA. So I have my own side hustle.
Nwabisa, thulisa umntwana.
Just to save and do out my expenses.
Sis Nwabisa, we can hardly hear you. Umntana wakho uyakhala lapho. Sis, ungakhona umthulisa bese uyaqhubeka. Nwabisa, are you still on the line? All right, I think we've lost Nwabisa, but I think the gist of her, she was commenting, and of course, uyatanda, the fact that we are actually promoting women to have side hustles. And I think I heard her saying that she is actually a student and she does have. So that's the aspect that we haven't looked at, Kabelo. Even as students, you don't need to wait for sugar daddy, no ban.
I love it. And I think that, you know, because women, we are very innovative.
Yes.
Right? I mean, even with stokvels, I think that women came to be together and thought, you know what, ladies, seeing that our husbands will not give us the money that we need, let us come together and put our money together, and then at the end of the month, and then we buy groceries. Do you understand? That's how we are as women. We solve problems, basically. We are problem solvers. And as a student, and for you to actually say that I am a student, and yet I found something else that I could do. I absolutely love that.
Very interesting also, Kabelo, because a lot of students are actually even excluded from workplaces because they are financially burdened even when they're in varsity. Okay, hold that thought. I need to take another quick ad break. How is Kati Sasasakijima namhlanje? We're back shortly after this. Well, it's our final, of course, segment la kwilungelo lakho la besikhuluma khona as we wrap up Women's Month ngokuthi ke yiphi mhlambe izinto esingazenza singabomama ukuthi sigcine leyo mali ngoba siyazi ukuthi ithina that are basically held hostage and reliable for izinto ezimayelene nemali ekhaya. So, Kabelo, very quickly, I mean, a lot of people, I think we also just heard this around here. In closing, when you hear people saying, yeah, but we've got independent women, we're no longer going to be contributing towards such, knowing what we know.
If you're not giving me money, honestly, you know, I'm a huge believer in partnership, and that
yes, it's a partnership.
It honestly is a partnership, and as men, I think the men that I've met, and even when I speak to my friends, for them it is so nice for them to be able to spoil their girlfriends or their wives.
We're not saying you're an imbecile. We're saying we're meeting you halfway because you also meet me halfway.
That is true. So we are not taking away from the role of a man in our lives when we are independent. Because I think that's what they think, that you've got everything covered as an independent woman, so therefore you don't need anything. No. We still want you in our lives for you to play your role as a provider.
All right, Michelle, in closing, very quickly, I just want to hear from you. What are some of the biggest tips that you can actually advise women as we wrap up Women's Month this week, actually?
So for me, I'll close it off by just saying there is nothing as sexy as a woman who has her finances in order.
Thank you, Amanda.
You know, we need to equip ourselves with financial literacy. We need to understand how money works.
All right.
We need to make sure that we're grounded in terms of knowing where we stand with, you know, our pockets.
Okay, let's leave it there, Michelle. Unfortunately, I'm out of time. Babugeli, thank you so much for your contributions, my ladies, today. Also, Michelle Abubakar, financial expert, alongside Ms. Kabelo Teme, who is from the Credit Ombud Office. Mbugeli, that's where we're going to leave it, unfortunately. Do check out our repeat broadcasts. Check it out via SABC Plus app. And of course, this is one next time when we're talking about from me, Umajali, and the crew and the team.
Yilungelo